All right. So it's time to ask the most important question that's ever been asked in the history of Dead by Daylight, which is, which killer wins in a hot dog eating contest? Now, one thing we need to get out of the way right now is these are Coney Island rules, okay? Coney Island rules, which means there's no condiments or anything like that on the hot dogs. It's just dog and bun, and then you could get some water to help you wash it down. And in addition to that, that means if you spew, you're out. You're eliminated. If you puke, you're out. The reversal of fortune, they call it, on the Coney Island rules. Nathan's hot dog eating contest rules. So that's what we're rolling with. So we're going to run down the whole roster right now and eliminate the ones we think are not going to even be in the running to win this contest. First of all, Trapper, he's a pretty big boy. He looks like he could take down a dog or two. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think he has any reservations about taking off his mask. Now, I don't know if the mask is like wired into his head or something, but he's got a few different masks. And some of them have bigger mouth holes than the other to where he wouldn't even need to take off the mask in order to suck down a dog. Some of them, like this, he needs to take it off or it's impossible. So I, maybe ignorantly, I don't know, am operating under the assumption that the mask is not going to be an obstacle for him to suck down dogs. And because of that, I'm not going to eliminate him. I'm going to keep him in the running. The Wraith, he's out right away. First of all, look at those chicken legs. This is a disgusting skin, but if we're going based off of like his default skin, he's out right away. This guy probably couldn't hold down more than one or two dogs. So definitely eliminate him right now. Wraith is gone. Hillbilly's an interesting one. Because Hillbilly was like locked behind a brick wall for most of his life. So he knows a thing or two about dealing with like pain and suffering. So I think he's the type of dude who could suck down quite a few dogs and get super sick and not even care. He'd just keep pushing through it. Like, he's got strong willpower. You know that. So I'm not going to eliminate him yet. I don't think he has a chance of winning, but I don't think that he deserves to be eliminated right out the gate. Nurse, she's gone. I actually put this skin on specifically to highlight that she does have the ability to eat hot dogs. The little bag over her head is not an obstacle. But she's very petite, very skinny arms, very skinny legs. She probably can't hold down too many dogs. And side note, she floats. So it's even possible that if she were to eat too many hot dogs, it would weigh her down and she'd come down to the ground. And because she doesn't normally walk, it's possible it would just break her legs. So definitely no Nurse in the finals. She's eliminated immediately. No chance for Nurse. Huntress. Huntress is a big mama. Huntress is a big mama, and she's a huntress. So she knows a thing or two about, you know, getting that kill, hunting down some meat, and eating something that has like a hot dog texture to it. So she definitely is going to be in the running. She's going to stick around a little while. Her default mask has a mouth opening, so the mask, again, not an obstacle. Definitely Huntress going to stick around for now. Michael, eliminated right away. Why, you might ask? Because you're like, Michael's kind of big. Maybe he could make it. He's not taking off that mask. As soon as the contest starts, I guarantee you Michael eliminates himself. Because he's going to stand there and just breathe really heavily. There's no way he's taking off that mask to eat hot dogs. Not a chance. So Michael, definitely eliminated right away. Hag, she's gone. I mean, she's tiny. She's all skin and bones, dude. I don't think that she could eat one hot dog before she would literally explode. I'm not sure she could eat anything before she would, like, the weight of the food would cause her to fall apart. So Hag, definitely gone right out the gate. Hey, Doctor, interesting one. Very interesting with Doctor here. Why is it interesting? Bigger guy. Looks like he could eat quite a bit. But I'm not sure how wide open he could get his mouth because of the weird metal clamp thing on his mouth. I don't have 100% confirmation. I mean, he can open it a little bit, but I'm not so sure he can sneak a dog between those teeth. So I'm going to eliminate him right now and say that he cannot get his mouth open wide enough to get a dog in there. Maybe he could take tiny little bites, but that's not going to get it done against some of the other hosses in this contest. So he's definitely gone as well. Cannibal, definitely a favorite here. He basically makes human hot dogs and eats them. So Cannibal is someone who, he's in familiar territory here. You could tell he's someone who would enjoy hot dogs because hot dogs are mystery meat, and he, you know, he's eating human meat. It's like mystery meat, so it all works out for him. And he's obviously a very big boy. He enjoys a good meal. So Leatherface definitely still in the running. Freddy, he's gone. Again, he's tiny. And I don't think he has a whole lot of interest in eating anything anyway. I think the only thing he really cares about is killing. So, same thing. Freddy, you're gone. Pig, gone. Now, I don't think that the pig mask is an obstacle. But again, Amanda, very small. I don't think she could eat a whole lot. I don't think she has a whole lot of interest in eating. I think she's more just obsessed with like rigging jigsaw traps and stuff. So Amanda, pig, she's gone. Now here is the person you've probably been waiting for. As soon as you heard there was a hot dog eating contest, the big man. Clown, what more needs to be said? This guy is the early favorite to win it all. I mean, look at that belly. Look at this absolute unit. You know that this guy could fit a lot of food in that belly before he's ever gonna even think about getting tired of eating another dog. So clearly, Clown, early favorite to take it all. Spirit, I want you to take a look at Spirit here. Now that's a body that doesn't quit. And I'm telling you, that type of body is not putting hot dogs in it. You know what I'm saying? That sounded weirder than I meant for it to sound. What I'm trying to say is she's too fit to be eating hot dogs. Hot dogs are garbage food. There's no way she'd eat any hot dog. She would refuse. She'd be like, you think I go down to Planet Fitness 2 hours a day just to ruin it over, you know, this hot dog eating contest? Absolutely not. Spirit, definitely eliminated. Legion, I don't care which Legion it is. All four of them, gone. It's a normal person. What more needs to be said? There's not even anything superhuman about them. You might as well just ask if a survivor could compete with the rest of these killers. Not a chance. Get Legion out of there. Plague, what did I say in the beginning? It's Coney Island rules, folks. Which means Plague would be eliminated immediately because she'd puke. And puking disqualifies you. The Plague, gone. Ghostface, same thing as Legion. It's just a guy or girl. We don't really know their gender, I guess, but same thing. Normal person. Who cares? Look at this jabroni. Eliminated. Get him out of here. Demigorgon? Oh boy. Definitely one of the people you want to have in the finals. I mean, look at that gullet. That thing, I mean, first of all, Demigorgon has a unique advantage in the sense that they could probably eat like 7, 8, maybe 10 hot dogs at a time because their mouth is so gigantic and they have like 1,000,000 teeth. So Demigorgon definitely sticking around. Oni, also sticking around. Look at the size of that man. Now, interesting thing here, same as Spirit, that's a body that doesn't quit. However, it is a bigger body, bulkier, so he needs a lot of calories to maintain that. It's possible hot dogs are how he maintains those muscles. So definitely going to keep Oni in there and head into the finals. Deathslinger, he's taller. He's on the taller side. I think that gives him a definite advantage, especially if it's Coney Island rules and he's standing up eating hot dogs. But I am going to eliminate him here just because he doesn't have a very thick build. You know what I mean? He's mostly just kind of tall, slender. He's got some pretty thick legs. He looks like the type of guy who's probably had a hot dog or two, just based on those cottage cheese cankles he's got going on. But again, you know, top half, skinny arms, you know, not particularly chunky in the face. He looks like he's fairly fit. So I'm going to eliminate Deathslinger right now. Pyramid Head, obviously eliminated. I mean, how's he going to eat? He can't. He's got a giant pyramid on his head. I don't even know why he showed up for this hot dog eating contest. What a jabroni. Blight's a weird one. He's pretty small, so I think that eliminates him right out the gate. But I don't even know if he could chew food. That doesn't necessarily disqualify him because he could just swallow the hot dogs whole. And it's possible he has the advantage of this disgusting serum inside of him could just like melt the hot dogs right away. But even if it melted the hot dogs, the liquid hot dog has to go somewhere. And he's still a fairly small guy. So I'm going to eliminate Blight as well right away. All right, now we've got the twins. Dark horse right here, folks. I think Charlotte and Victor are a true dark horse. Why? First of all, Charlotte's kind of a unit, but she has a gigantic hole in her chest. She could technically cheat in this contest. She could eat the hot dogs, and then depending on her anatomy, Victor could just like go into her chest and grab the hot dog and throw it out of her body. You know what I mean? Like they could cheat. Like she's technically eating it, but it's not going into her stomach because Victor's like in her stomach. So definitely gonna keep Charlotte around and see what she could do late in this round, late in this game. A Trickster, he's gone. Again, same thing as Spirit. That's a body that doesn't quit. That dude's never eaten a hot dog in his life. Look at those washboard abs. Forget about it. Nemesis, another favorite. Absolute monster. The biggest killer in the game, even bigger than Clown. And he's not even human. So, like Hillbilly, you know this guy doesn't feel pain. So if he gets full, he's just going to push right through it and keep eating and eating and eating. So Nemesis, another guy who's going to stick around. Pinhead, kind of interesting. I have the Chatterer skin equipped on him for some reason, but, and we're not, the Chatterer's out. Chatterer's not a part of this, okay? Chatterer could probably take down a dog or two because of how quickly he could chatter those teeth. Same thing as Doctor, though. We don't know how big a bite he could take. But this isn't about Chatterer, this is about Pinhead. Let's say Pinhead. Now, he's another interesting one. Just like Nemesis and Hillbilly, and even more so than them, this guy actually enjoys pain. So you know that if he got to the point where his stomach was about to burst, it would be like turning him on. So that's really gross and also a massive advantage. But I also think he's the type of guy who wouldn't have any issues puking. That's probably another thing he'd be really into, which is also really gross, and it also would disqualify him from the contest. So I'm going to eliminate him right now. Artist, she's kind of on the bigger side. Like, she's got some powerful looking calves here, but she does have a tight waist. Same sort of scenario here, where I just don't see that she's gonna be able to hold down too many dogs. The only thing I would say for her, though, is that she does utilize crows. And because she utilizes crows, I wonder if those crows could potentially eat things for her and essentially help her cheat. Like, when she performs her Mori, a crow, like, comes out of her body. Are there crows inside her, like Alien? Like, there's a little xenomorph inside her tummy? Like, could they eat the food for her? I don't know, but I'm going to operate under the assumption that even if that is the case, the crows are still going to get fat inside of her body, so that food's not exiting her body in any way. So I'm going to say Artist is eliminated as well. And then the last one, of course, is Sadeko. Sadeko, easy elimination, very tiny, but more importantly than that, look at her hair. She's not going to be able to get any dogs through that hair, and she doesn't really like moving them except to expose her eyeball. So there's absolutely no way Sadeko's making it anywhere near the finals. Sadeko is gone. So now we look at our final round here, our final selections. We've got Trapper, we've got Hillbilly, we've got Huntress, we've got Leatherface, we've got Clown, Demigorgon, Twins, Oni, Nemesis. Pretty solid list, but I'm gonna have to say right out the gate, Hillbilly, he's gonna have to go. He's just not quite as big as the other people who are in the finals right now. And although he has a high pain tolerance, I just don't think that that's going to mean anything, because eventually your body is just going to reject what you're putting in it, regardless of how much pain you can take. And because he's a little bit on the smaller side, I don't think he's going to be able to take much before his body rejects it. Trapper, again, pretty big guy, but he's not necessarily massive. And I don't know about Trapper. I don't know that he has the willpower to want to keep eating, if that makes sense. You know, he seems like he's kind of got a one-track mind. He really only cares about killing and stuff like that. You know, I don't think he has the heart for this. I don't think he's going to keep going. I'm going to eliminate him right away too. Not right away, but you know, right now. Huntress, I'm going to have to get rid of her as well. Yeah, she's on the bigger side, but she strikes me as the type of person who might even be kind of snobby about eating a hot dog. Like she'd probably be sitting there thinking to herself, like, man, I really prefer to be eating meat that I can identify, you know, eating what I killed, what I caught, you know. And I don't think she'd be down for hot dogs, this processed meat, this mystery meat. I don't think she'd be down for that. So she's eliminated right now. Now this is, I think, where it gets really hard. The last ones left are all easy favorites. And this is such a difficult decision. I think if I had to eliminate one, I am going to eliminate Leatherface. Leatherface, he's a big guy. He loves food, but he might be kind of a picky eater. Like he might be the type of guy who prefers human meat, and he might not be down for a hot dog. You know what I mean? Like if a hot dog satisfy him, you think he'd just skip the hard part of like luring tourists into, you know, his trap and killing them and eating them, and just go to the store and buy a hot dog. You know what I mean? But he doesn't do that. And it must be because he doesn't like that kind of meat. The only meat he enjoys is human meat. So I'm going to say that eliminates him right now. The next one I'm going to go with is Oni. I'm going to eliminate Oni next. And the reason for that is I look at his body, and he does need a lot of calories. But he's pretty, you know, he's got some nice vascularity going on here, some good veinage. And very muscular, very toned, bulky, thick, solid, tight. I think he's the type of guy who does pay a little bit of attention to what he's putting into his body. You have to maintain a body like this. Like you can't, regardless of how many calories you need, you can't just eat a bunch of Snickers as your way of getting calories. You got to get good calories to have these monstrous pectorals that he has. So I think Oni's eliminated right now. The next one up, I think for me, is going to be the Demogorgon. And the reason I'm doing that is I think he is the type of competitor that would get a very early lead. He's going to get out to a quick lead, you know, while everybody else is sitting at 3-4 dogs. Demogorgon's going to be at 20 already. And he's going to get a monster lead because of that gigantic mouth. But his body isn't that big. Like he's fairly thin. He's got very long limbs, but it doesn't look like he has a particularly large stomach. So I'm going to say that although he'd jump out to a very large lead, eventually the other competitors would catch up to him. So Demogorgon is eliminated. Now comes down to our final three, which is Charlotte, the Clown, and Nemesis. The next person I'm going to eliminate is Nemesis. Now, this might be controversial. I'm eliminating Nemesis because I have my doubts about how easy it is for him to chew because of his teeth. Now, you look at his portrait here. He does have a little bit of gap in that teeth, but like we said about Doctor and Chatterer, tiny bites are not going to get the job done. After all, these are Coney Island rules. Coney Island rules, you're under a time limit. If Nemesis had an unlimited amount of time to eat, maybe he doesn't get eliminated here, but he doesn't. Which means I don't think although he could fit a lot of hot dogs in that enormous frame, I don't think he could eat them very quickly. And I think that's where he falls short here. So I'm eliminating Nemesis right now. And now we're down to our final two. The last two, the finals, the twins and the clown. Now, I would say if you were to ask the average person before this hot dog eating contest started who would win, the vast majority of people would answer with the clown. However, my winner of who would win in a Dead by Daylight hot dog eating killer contest is the twins. And the reason is because of the loophole. There's nothing, so far as I know, that says you cannot have a twin inside of your body ejecting hot dogs outside of a cavity in your chest. There's no rule like that in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest guidelines. And because of that, I think the twins can cheat their way to victory. She can eat hot dog after hot dog after hot dog, and her partner in crime, Victor, could just keep expelling them from her body. She would never get full. Now, even if, let's say for a second that they make a rule that she can't have the assistance of Victor. Even if that's the case, Victor could just leave her chest like he already does in the game. And she could probably just stick one hand inside of her chest cavity and catch the hot dogs as they're coming down her throat and just toss them out of her body herself. So either way, whether Victor is involved or not, that giant hole in her chest is a massive advantage and a loophole in the rule book that basically would allow her to win this contest with ease. Which feels like highway robbery, because the clown, he's got that big belly. You know he's somebody who loves food. He's probably trained for this already. But unfortunately, due to a loophole in the rules, I have to award the twins, Charlotte and Victor, with the top prize, the first place prize, that ordains them as the killer who would win in a hot dog eating contest. Congratulations, Charlotte and Victor.